take you to Ann Arbor, where we'll visit with Selma Cafe and CEDAM member Avalon Housing to find out more about their exciting summer project.
Hoop houses basically are, they're big hoops. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but they're structures that have large kind of curved structures that come over that are very simple. They're almost more like tents than greenhouses. And greenhouses as well, are a lot more expensive to build just by the nature of the structure of them with the glass and everything. They're a lot more expensive. Hoop houses are kind of, a bit of a down and dirty way of doing it on a much bigger scale. In Michigan, if you're just growing outside, you've really got a 5 or 6 month growing season, so half the year you can't be growing. Hoop houses are great because they give that extra bit of protection, so they really extend the growing season for gardeners and for farmers, so that you can, there are certain crops, spinach is a good example, which you can grow much later in the year just in a simple hoop house. And as simple structures, they're not, mechanical, they don't require additional equipment. Once they're up, they're there and working. So, maintenance on them is pretty low, which is why there's such a great support for farmers in more northern climates like Michigan.
Well, we're really invested in building hoop houses, but we didn't want to spend every weekend over the summer doing hoop builds. So far we've built, before the 2020, we built about a dozen hoop houses all over our community, including a couple in Detroit. And we thought if we could do 20 hoop houses in 20 days, we'd do it through a chunk of early summer, and then after the 4th of July, we'd be done hoop building for the summer. So that was the impetus for doing 20 and 20.
Avalon Housing has been around almost 20 years, and we grew out of an emergency shelter in an effort to develop a more permanent, long-term solution to homelessness. So we provide affordable housing and support services for people who are have very low incomes and who are homeless and who have a physical or mental disability. So we own and manage almost 300 units that are scattered at 24 different sites throughout Ann Arbor. We started at Edible Avalon with Chris's help and other volunteers as a way to make fresh organic produce more readily available to our tenants, as well as to help people build community, come together, connect with the larger community, and learn more about food and health and nutrition. And so it's been a terrific blend. We have Edible Avalon sites at, I think, a dozen Avalon properties. We're very scattered. Our units are scattered and integrated into neighborhoods all around town, and so we have multiple gardens, and tenants at each site work with the volunteers to develop, plant, grow, harvest, and maintain the gardens.
Edible Avalon is really just a project that stemmed from being able to see this opportunity, as well as a need for our tenants to have healthy grown food that they can do in their yard. So that's really how that got started.
It's a community gardening and education program for tenants of Avalon Housing and also their immediate neighbors. So we go in and build raised bed gardens. They're organic, and we provide tools and transplants and seeds, and then volunteers adopt the gardens and visit them once a week. They share gardening expertise, learn gardening from many of the tenants, share recipes with what's currently harvestable in the garden.
This was something that started, 2 years ago. We use a lot of eggs, bacon, bread, and whatever vegetables are in season. Lisa always has a bread pudding with local fruit. In the winter, she's frozen things, so there's always, the fruit is available, but it's local. And we have homemade waffles, and often it's a bread-based thing with a vegetable and a sauce. Depending on who has which produce, it'll come from the farmer's market, it'll come from Sparrow Market, and the People's Food Co-op, which are all local stores.
I know I've been there when they've had over 190 people through between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. It's just really successful.
Just a few weeks ago, we busted 200, which was really amazing. In 2.5 hours in an actual just home space to serve that many people. It was really fun. So come on out and eat with us. It's great food, you'll meet great people, and the money goes to such a great place.